When I see in you, yeah, 'cause I believe in you. You're the only one I choose. Even though you'll break my heart, my heart. 'Cause I know what we are, our love's too young. Even though you'll break my heart, my heart. I'ma need you, I'ma need you, I'ma need you. Show me your broken scars and all your hearts. Yeah, 7:30. Ooh, ooh. I get those goosebumps every time, yeah. You come around, yeah. You ease my mind, you make everything feel fine. Worry about those comments. I'm way too numb, yeah. It's way too dumb, yeah. I get those goosebumps every time. I need the humbling, throw that to the side, yeah. I get those goosebumps every time, yeah. When you're not around me, you throw that to the side, yeah. Every time, yeah. 713 to 21, yeah. Riding while they on me. While they on me, I'm flying, yeah. Sipping low key. I'm sipping low key and on next rapper. When I put it right beside you, pop star Lil Mariah, yeah. When I text you, giving wildness, throwing stock in the Bible, never stop chatting to Molly. She flew through plenty on a Guinness, yeah. We're at the top floor, rather on a weenie, yeah. Oh no, I can't fuck with y'all. Well, Oliver, I'm gonna pause, I'm gonna unmute the stream and we'll get going.
No worries.
Oops. Welcome back to a brand new season of SFR. My name is Jamie Morris, and alongside me is Oliver once again. And we're here for Div 2 for the Bahrain Grand Prix. And Tuesday and Wednesday have been moved. Div 2 is now Tuesday, and Div 1 is on Wednesdays now. As Div 3 occupies Monday. And alongside me, thankfully, is Oliver again. Welcome back, mate. How you doing?
Oh, I know, Tubbo, man. I can't believe it. A brand new season, brand new game, brand new mechanics to these Formula One cars. Not to mention the fact that we have got a brand new division last night that launched with a fantastic Division 3 race. And not to mention the drivers now have all been changed around as well. I used to race in Division 2 last season, and now I've been moved up into Division 1, so you obviously see me on this grid anymore. And what a fantastic lineup of drivers. And we're going to be going through the drivers in a moment. But before I do, I'll tell you what, Jamie. This game had a bit of a rough start, but it does show a lot of promise to be a fantastic F1 game. It had a load of patches before we had the season starting. Any mixed opinions after the patches? Has it gone better? Has it got a downfall? What are you thinking?
Well, I'm not quite sure, to be honest with you, because I'm starting to get used to the game patch, but at the same time, it does catch me out quite a bit, especially on braking and turning. Sometimes I turn in a bit too early. I'm not quite sure with the handling of the steering. That's my biggest problem is with steering now. I've never had that sort of issue before in the past, but now I'm starting to have issues with steering, so I need to be very careful of that because sometimes I go out wide or sometimes I cut the corner, which I've never done before. So that's catching me out quite a lot. But I do like the new concept of the battery use when you have medium, overtake, and hot lap. If you put it into non, it recharges your battery like you hear SOC, which means state of charge, and obviously you restore your energy if you put it in non. Medium is when obviously medium mode, so you don't use a lot of EOS, and you can save some on the straight too. It does recharge as
Oh
Martin.
dear.
Martin's been disqualified already for parking at the pit lane exit, so that's him gone already and starts in last place. But on board with the Red Bull Clustler as he goes down into Tier 1. And Oliver, do you want to read the team names, mate?
Yes, so of course, with a brand new season, you've got to have fill the teams out with brand new drivers and some old faces as well. So Red Bull, for downgrading from Division 1, we all know his name, Atlas Scopo, and Clussa will be partnering up in the Red Bull team. In Ferrari is Zenon and OWRL Emils. In Mercedes is BRS Weissif part of OWR Ronnie. And then McLaren, of course, we've got to have the reigning and defending champion, SFR Keys, is going to be defending his championship, and he'll be partnered up with Adams. In the Sauber team, we have Calvin and Cassidy. Of course, we all know Calvin, that he absolutely pushed Keys all the way down to the last race of the season, but Keys just pipping at the end. He wants a bit of a fight back going through this season. And of course, Cassidy will be partnering up just like he did in the Red Bull team. In Alpine, it will be the old good buddies of Energy Dan and Mad G. These two have been very good long friends, and of course, it makes all the sense in the world for them to be partnering up in the season. In the RB team, we've got the two directors in the RB team of Martin and Sonic Hawk. Martin had a bit of a downgrade going into Division 2, but he'll be a strong lineup for sure. In the Haas, only MCS season in the Haas at the moment, but we are going to try and get a driver in the Haas team. We're going to get someone to fill that seat, so it's currently vacant. In Aston Martin, look at this. This is for a mouth-watering lineup. Mansell, we all remember him going into the season. He'll be charging for another title charge, and he'll be partnered up with Mindful Wasp in the Aston Martin. That's a very juicy pairing, in my opinion. And of course, in the Williams will be Serge and Stravatza in the Williams pairing. That's your lineup for this season here in season 16 in SFR. I know because we can see the times are starting to come in now with Stravatza putting at all the starts of a 28.5 at the moment, as all the time starts rolling into the first runs.
Indeed, so he's got a 28.5 for him. He's 2 tenths clear of Keiths in P2, like you said, the championship defender coming into the season in a season 16. Energy Dan is in P7 behind his Alpine teammate of Mad G. But for those people who want to hear the cars, let me know if you can hear it now, because sometimes I have to turn my mic down because the car audios are quite loud. I can barely hear myself think. That's why you probably couldn't hear the cars. In fact, what's going on here?
I think it might be a lobby restart. I'll have a look.
I think it could be, because something just reset. So a lobby restart is imminent as people are in the barriers.
Restart.
That was quite weird. So unfortunately, we're going to have a restart, and I'm not quite sure why, but yeah, things have not gone well so far. So Paul Vickers says he can hear the call audios. I've turned it down on my side so I can hear myself think and talk, because sometimes the call audio can be a bit too loud and I can't even hear myself. So a lobby restart then is on its way, and for those people who put in a good lap time, we'll have to do it all over again here in qualifying. So we're just going to wait an invite, and hopefully we can get back then so things will run smoothly. There's a lot of cars off of the circuit. It was quite weird, because once we had that little bit of a lobby, I don't know what it's called, a blackout, let's say. We had a blackout and every single car is off the circuit, so that's quite interesting then. A few cars parked up in the last corner, and now the lobby has finally reset. And are we leaving this session?
Yeah, looks like we are, yeah. So the reason for the restart is from Martin, and it's because of his DSQ. It says this: he had a disqualification for absolute nothing, because he had a no set up and he hadn't even left the pit.
Oh dear.
But while we're in this sort of mode, we can talk about the driver lineup. So who's your strongest pairing, Jamie? What are you thinking?
It's the wrong division, mate. I'm new to this division, so I'm not quite sure if I'm really honest with you.
Since I've been in the division, I will give you a little hinter. So, of course, Keys is our reigning champion. He'll be in McLaren with Adams. But you've got to think that I think my strongest pairings are probably with Mansell and Wasp, because Mansell Wasp was super consistent in the last game and during last season. He was so consistent and very, very quick as well. Mansell, he had pushed for a title challenge, but unfortunately he had other things to do, and of course that sort of helped. And a few bad incidents going into that one, so it sort of didn't really work out for him now. We all know, you do know Atlas Scopo. What do you think of him going down to Division 2? Because we all know Atlas Scopo for Division 1.
I think he'd be really quick, because he did prove himself in Div 1 when he was finishing inside the top 10. I know he had a tough teammate, which was Dragon, OWR Dragon, and he was a regular top 10 finisher, but also outside the top 10 in Div 1, so let's hope he can try and get closer here in Div 2. He's got a lot of experience driving with the best drivers in Div 1, so here in Div 2, hopefully he can carry that experience here and handle the pressure really well. So I expect to see him up there, depends how he feels in this game as well. I did notice Atlas Copo when we did the social races, he was quite quick. I couldn't even catch him, so even though I was trying my best. So let's hope he's got some pace in store and try and be a regular challenger up there too.
Yeah, that is very true, very, very true. I'll let you do Division 1's lineup tomorrow, Jamie. I can't wait to hear your reactions going into Division 1 tomorrow. Any early thoughts going into Division 1 tomorrow? Is it going to be very, very close tomorrow, as it could be predicting?
Always is. Hopefully, hopefully it is really close, because it was last time, except the likes of Hazara. But yeah, I really hope it's really close, because it was a great championship fight last season. We had a lot of twists and turns.
Wasn't it awesome to watch?
Say again, sorry?
It was awesome to watch that Division 1 season. One of the best Division 1s I've witnessed.
It was indeed, and I'm grateful that I commentated last season, because it was a season to remember. My second or third season now in SFR commentating. I'm just waiting for a lobby invite. This music is not really helping either, because I can't really think with this music playing in the background. I've changed it, but not to the songs I want. I'll just put the EA music on. Mad G is Div 1 pace here, says Smoke FX, a former Div 1 driver. I think he's still in Div 1 in the house.
Yeah, he is. And he's also, I'll give a little teaser, that is my teammate going into this season. So that's a little teaser for you.
Well, I'll be very interested in you and Smoke. Smoke was a regular top 10 qualifier. Let me join this session before I continue talking. So Smoke FX was a regular top 10 qualifier, but he did have a little bit of problem with race pace, because he did drop outside the top 10. Him and Yakumal were quite strong in qualifying. He did score a few points as well inside the top 10, a regular top 10 finisher, but he did struggle just a little bit too. So I really hope his pace has improved. And Oliver, you need to press the spectator menu, mate.
Oh yeah, of course, yeah. There you go, be Mr. Rusty. There you go.
I'm just getting used to all the new format here. We've got the Kick Sabers. We did call them Alpha Romeo last season at the end of 2023. We've got the Visa Cash App RB. I'm just going to call them RB, because obviously I'm not going to pronounce all of that.
I think everyone will call them RB.
But RB are not too bad in actual F1, you know. I think they're sixth in the constructors ahead of Haas. And nope, about the same, maybe. Let me get the comments up, because it is popping up on the right side of my screen, but not the full message. Nope, about the same, maybe worse. Lol, says Smoke FS.
No, don't downgrade yourself. He's been so negative during pre-season. He needs to be more positive, which I've been trying to get him to do, but he's just not listening.
I've not really had a chance, Oliver, to race on the F1 games, because I've been spending a lot of time on ACC, because I commentate for an ACC league too. I'm not going to promote it, obviously, but I do commentate for an ACC, and I've rather enjoyed that too. I think a lot of people I know here have played ACC, and I finally got the game about a few months ago, and I started playing it, and I did struggle, but also commentating it is really dreadful, because the spectator menu is absolutely horrendous to commentate with. It's so difficult, because when you scroll through the drivers, it goes from randomers, like let's say P3, you scroll to P15, back to P12, back to P4. It's not in order when you scroll through, so it's the commentator section is really difficult. But I'm so glad to be commentating back on F1. I've been absolutely waiting for this moment to commentate on F1, and I can't wait to see what happens coming into the qualifying and the race.
Yeah, so do I. When it comes to the, with the ERS, I'll tell you now, that is going to be such a major factor during the whole 24 races for this season. It's going to be, I love it. It's going to be interesting how the drivers will manage the ERS. Are they going to go full-blown attack? There's going to be some people who go full-on attack. There's going to be people who are going to be full-on saving. There'll be some people in the middle. It's going to be so strategical with the ERS now. It's going to be a major factor. Not to mention the tyres as well. They have been a new factor in the game now. Tyre wear's a thing, to say the least. So, and also tyre heating. Because I noticed on the formation lap they can't heat the tyres as much now. like you did in last year's game. You've got to really heat up the tyres now.
I agree too. And Simo, thank you very much for your nice comments. Even though we haven't started commentating properly yet over qualifying the race, I still appreciate your comments, Simo. He said, absolutely amazing comms, guys. And whilst we got a bit of a lull going on in the lobby, I will go to the toilet because I drank a Red Bull today and I'm absolutely busted for the toilet, so I'll be right back.
Yeah, you carry on. So yeah, thank you guys for your nice comments. You keep, and as you all know, please like and subscribe to get all the SFR live races. Now we're live 3 days a week now, from Monday to Wednesday. If you love us that much, please give us a like and please subscribe. We're on our way to 700 subscribers at the moment, so please just give us all the love and support that you can, which you know you all do. So yeah, just give us a big shout. Okay, Smoke says predicting Mad G win. Heard it here first. So Smoke predicting a Mad G victory. Go for Gareth. Into this race. There is a lot of strong talent in here, to say the least, going into this event. So confident to see we've got the restart. It's about to get underway with Bahrain. Of course, it will be appropriate to get this event underway in Bahrain. Then the next week we're going off to Silverstone for the British Grand Prix, which I can't wait, because of course it's pretty fitting actually, because the British Grand Prix is coming up this upcoming weekend. So I can't wait to see how the British Grand Prix goes, especially how Max Verstappen and Lando Norris came to blows. Simba says Mansell and Calvin battles round 2. Can't wait to see. And Keith as well. Ramavaj saying, best of luck, guys. Love the commentary team. Oh, thanks, Ramavaj. Really, really appreciate the comments. And Nikki says, yeah, absolutely brilliant, guys. Brilliant comps, guys. Good luck. Thank you, Nikki. It was also my fiance, so thank you very much, Nikki. Love you lots. Okay, so we go once more onto the circuit. Jamie has returned.
Yes, I have, mate. And we've got a Red Bull out then. So the quickest time we saw in that qualifier session was a 28.5. And let's see if anybody can beat that then. So they had a bit of practice, some people, in the lobby. So they get extra, let's say they get an extra chance if they use up a set of softs earlier on and they made a mistake or something like that. So a little bit of practice beforehand, and now we can get going in the actual session once again. I think it was Klusler who set the initial pace of the Red Bull. It
was Travatsa that got the fastest time, so we had the restart. So
I think it was Klusler who was first out there, and he's first out there again.
He was first out, yeah, so he wants to get that first time. He wants to be Mr. Show-Off, really.
And somebody said that Mad G in P14 is Div 1 pace. So let's see if that's true or not. And we're about to find out here in the actual qualifying session and the race. So pre-season out of the way, I think all these drivers have had enough practice, and I haven't especially. I'm still trying to get used to the whole handling, but the problem is I've not spent as much time on the game. The most time I've spent on this game is because of commentary, with the social races, with the esports leagues I've done, and that's about it. Otherwise, barely done any practice.
I forgot to mention it as well, Jamie, that another change that's on this game is the audio. You remember last year's game, the cars, when they fly past, listen? As you can tell, you can actually hear it. They changed the audio. I don't know if I'm a fan of that or not. They wanted to make the game really realistic, but I don't know. I think, in my view, it's a little bit too quiet. In my view, I feel it's like a personal opinion, but I feel like when the cars do fly past, it's a bit quieter. But there you go, Cluster on a flying lap. If you want to, Jamie, you can take on Cluster's lap.
Here we are then down the long main straight. The DRS wide open once again. He used a bit of overtake on the straight as we go down into turn 1, braking before the 100-meter board. Using the curb on the outside, gets a really good turn in there. In second gear still, upshifted through the gears, using the curb on the right, but doesn't really use the curb on the right. Doesn't really maximise the track on the right hand side. As we go down into turn 4, this right-hander braking the 100-meter board. Another place to go wheel to wheel through here. Into third gear we go, nice and smooth on the exit with the steering too. No sorts of corrections or hesitation. Been a bit wide in turn 6 and turn 7 there, so not really the best line as we go through the the right-hander of turn 8. A slow speed corner, so it's very crucial to get the traction really smoothly and nicely there as it does so. No signs of wheel spin. Now going down this turn 9 and turn 10, which can be a bit difficult with the front locking as well, especially on the left front. DRS enabled. He's using the Aston Martin as a slipstream provider. And as you can see already, he's quite low on the ERS. He's down to 13% already as we go down through turn 11. Just misses the apex on the exit on the entry, but gets a good launch on the exit as we head through turn 12. He does use a bit of the curve there, just kisses it ever so slightly, but not utilising the whole try. As we go through turn 13, then experimenting, using the throttle to rotate the car through 6th gear 13. Now we're coming down into turn 14. Let's see where he decides to brake just after the 100-meter board. Slow it all down, hits the apex on the entry, back on the throttle once again, and as you can see there, he will cross the line with the DRS wide open to set a 29.2. So not the fastest we've seen, and there's definitely a lot of improvement for the Red Bull there of Klossler.
I tell you what, you mentioned it before, and we will say it again. The ERS in qualifying is going to be the most pivotal point throughout the entire season as the reigning champion gets up into pole with Keith with a 28.7, entry down to 10 slower. But the ERS is going to be such a pivotal point in this entire season. All the drivers will be learning the best points to use it, the best points not to use it. I think you will be learning as well, Jamie, as you probably go into your races. But we all can agree that the ERS is going to be such a pivotal factor.
I agree, because if you use it too early in the early stages, you will run out for sure. I did see somebody run out of the ERS as they made their way towards the line. That was Waitsef down in P9 now as he gets displaced by Mad G, who goes into PA as he crosses the line in the Alpine. One to watch out for, they say, but unfortunately for him, he's down to PA. Here comes Alas Copo in the Red Bull at 28.7 for him, and he's a few hundreds quicker than Energy Down, my co-commentator, my former co-commentator, as Stravatsa in P2 does not beat his regular lap time he set in the early stages of Q or qualifying, sorry, the last session. So it's a 28.6 as Calvin beats the original lap time set in the other lobby with a 28.5. Only a few hundreds though, but it's enough to be in P1 so far then. So the Haas of MEFC crossed the line to go into P11. That's going to confuse me because somebody else is like that, but it's in different letters. So that will confuse me just a bit there as he puts his Haas into P11 on the medium compound tyres, Oliver.
Yeah, I think that's what the drivers are trying to do now with the tyres. I think they want to take a medium tyre stint for the Delta for the next lap. But here comes Martin into sector 3. He was in Division 1 last season, now into Division 2 this season, partner with Sonic Hawk. A very consistent top 10 runner in last season in Division 1. We're going into Division 2 now. Let's see how he does in this fair round. Go down the main straight. Blast the rest of the ERS, go down to the final straight. It will be a 28.4 pole position for Martin ahead of Calvin.
Nice one there from Martin. He was a regular contender inside the top 10 in the Mercedes, partnered with the man down in P14 last season, Adams, who also raced in Division 1 after he replaced Glock mid-season. And here he is, unfortunately for him, down in Div 2, but hopefully be better for him as well in terms of being up there in the pace then. So Mindful Wasp, the only driver not to set a lap time, but he is currently out there, but I'm not quite sure what his lap times are looking like. He's coming to the middle sector at 8.9, but as you can see, has got a lot of ERS on board, so I don't think he's on a proper flying lap, maybe an exploratory lap time. So let's see there as we continue with Mindful Wasp going down into the final few corners we go. Obviously qualifying mode, the ERS mode has changed a lot. You don't want to be running hot lap throughout the whole thing. You have to use overtake as well down the straight to get more straight line speed and power. He goes into P16 then, so hopefully for him he can improve and get himself further up to the pecking order. So here is Keith then in the first sector, 6% ERS he's got, a few hundreds up in the first sector. I'm not quite sure if Keith has gone for consecutive lap times as he's quite low on that battery. He's done 2 laps already on them soft compound tyres, still improving on his regular lap time. So it looks like there's more to be found in that McLaren, of course, in the early stages qualifying. 8 minutes have gone in qualifying already. Let's see his middle sector. He's currently a few hundreds up again. He's quite low on that battery, so he won't be able to use the overtake button effectively as he will run out of power going down the main straight. You can see he's on 3% ERS already, but we know when he puts on a brand new set of tyre, full battery, he'll go through it once again. And let's see where the McLaren driver could put himself. Here he is then. Keith makes his way towards the line. What's it going to be for him? It's pole. Wow.
Oh, very good final sector there for Keith, the reigning world champion, off to a very, very good start there. Well done to Keith. And I'll tell you what, his fan club would be very happy. I've been told by a certain someone named Thomas that he has got a bit of a fan club on his fans that we need to look after when they show up. I think her name's Melissa. I think that he's been getting supported from. But yeah, the listeners, if you're watching, your man is leaning out front. Your big number one fan, the reigning champion, is out in front. Empty down. It's always been a season regular. He's just come up for his lap as well. Adams, he's on a flying lap in the other McLaren. Let's see how Adams does. Keith's teammate, who's 3 seconds down. So I think he's not on a push lap. Where's Cassidy in all this? He is on a flying lap. This is Cassidy on a flying lap. The other Scotsman. I'm surprised the two Scots haven't really partnered up, Cassidy and Martin, but who knows? 106.5, Jamie. It's a very... Oh, but did Taylor happy out of the turn, though?
Yeah, indeed. Midway through turn 11 and turn 12. So Cassidy continues. He will lose a bit of time on the straight there. But as you can see, he gets a decent final exit. That looked really quick. But unfortunately, he has a bad editor, so we will never know what lap time he could have set. But in the pit lane, he goes there to put on a brand new set of soft compound tyres. You were talking about Adams there. He did cross the line to go into P10. He's also done 3 laps on them set of soft compound tyres too. So it looks like a few people are sacrificing that extra set of soft compound tyres ready for the race, just in case there's an early or late safety car, because you don't want to be starting on soft compound tyres at the very start, because they're not really that useful. They do overheat quite a lot, but towards the end, when the track temperature is low and also the track is involved with low fuel, that's when the soft compound tyres comes at the best conditions. Here's Mansour around that final corner. Let's see what he could do in the Aston Martin. Here he is, then towards the line he goes, and it's P11, then a few hundreds away from Adams in P10. Aniji Dan is making his way through turn 1 and turn 2. I believe he just completed a lap or starting one right now. Either way, it looks like he's on
it sounds like to me he's just started in the Alpine.
So let's continue with him then. He's currently ahead of his teammate Mad G, only about 1200ths of a second, and Energy Dan immediately in that first sector improves by 1/10. I believe Sonic Hawk has just crossed the line to go. Yes, he has in the RB. Sonic Hawk goes up into P5, so it's looking very good so far for RB. Sonic Hawk, who also was a reserve driver in Division 1, and here he is in Division 2 then, making a good impression. Atlas Copo coming to the first sector now, so I want to keep on board with Energy Dan, as that was the driver who I was on board with beforehand. But yes, Atlas Copo is improving in the first sector, is the OWR driver. Now here comes Energy Dan, coming out at turn 11. Through 12 we go, a flat out right-hander it should be. No signs of lift off through there, and he's currently a full 10th quicker in the middle sector in comparison to his best lap time. Then as he makes his way out of turn 13 we go, using the overtake button as he's quite low on that battery, but he's making it up on the straight. As you can see, the battery there recharging on that short straight as we go through turn number 14 we go. I love the engine noise, by the way, as he makes his way towards the line now. What's he going to do in the Alpine? It's P6, and he improves by 400ths in the last sector.
Let's go. But did make a mistake actually going into turn 10. He went a bit wide and now he's backed off, so that was a bit of a disappointment for him. Martin's attempt slower than Keith's going into sector 2, so he's going in. Tidy entry there for Martin. He's got the Red Bull right behind him. That is Kusa right behind him, so he's got to get a decent slipstream by Martin. Now Martin's going into turn 11. Nice and tight through the exit. He can now slap bang on the throttle. Now going into turn 12. Now towards turn 13. He's a 10th quicker, Jamie. It's looking good for Martin. It's a 10th. It is a pole position time.
So let's see if Martin then could continue his progress. He's got the Red Bull of Klussler right behind, but it looks like Klussler is matching the pace of Martin, so hopefully Klussler behind can improve on his lap time in the Red Bull. The Dutchman and the Scotsman making their way towards the line. Here he comes, Martin's pole. It's a 28.4, and he improves only by a few hundreds there, so that's a great lap time. Where's Klussler? Klussler is into P9, just behind his own teammate by a hundredth of a second exactly there for Klussler in P9 there. So new lap time of 28.4. Anybody can improve? Sonic Hawk in P3. That's an RB13. Looking good so far from the RBs so far.
If you switch to leader, Jamie, I'm not even kidding. Have you seen the time gaps at the moment from P1 right down to what, P7? It's so close at the moment.
It's always close, no matter what league or division you watch in Div 1, 2 or 3. Always close to the top of the time sheets. I think the admins are very, very good at finding people within the same skill gap and range of each other. They're all sort of talented. I don't know how they do it.
Honestly, we have got like one of the best admin teams in the world. They are so good. of judging their people's pace, and then if they get the pace they wanted, they'll know what division they're going to put them in, and they know they're going to provide the best racing here in this division. And I'll tell you now, we have got the best drivers in any division. I know I've been so biased because I've been here for nearly 10 seasons, but honestly, this has been my first division and my only division as Cassidy goes up into P2. So Cassidy, it's a Scottish 1-2 at the moment. Not anymore. Matt G's gone up there with a 10 quicker in the Alpine.
I was about to say Cassidy was 6,000 down on Martin's time, but Matt G extends the bar and currently puts himself into P1 by about 600 per second. He's getting ever so close to the top of the time machines there as the times continue to improve. We've got 4 minutes left in this qualifying session. Keys crossed the line. I think he's on a brand new set of soft compound tyres, which he is, as he did 3 laps on his other set of soft compound tyres. Calvin Mason is down in the first sector. I believe he's backed up because he's put his battery into non-length. Energy Dan is making his way out the final corner. He is a 10th up in that middle sector, but he heads off into the pit lane then, so he's not really satisfied with his lap time, as majority of drivers out there are in the pit lane. Wait set unfortunately down into P15, 8 seconds down the first sector.
Yeah, Keys is now on what 89 thousandths quicker than it's on his personal time. He's got the purple first set. He's got the Aston Martin in front of him. He'll kindly move out the way for Keys, but this is a good start for Keys for pole.
But Keith's is already like low on battery here, but as you've seen, he can save it. He's really good at saving his EOS because he used the right mode. He's into overtake right now on this short straight, so EOS management is key in qualifying. It is silly to say, but you can't have it in hot lap throughout the whole lap because overtake is a lot powerful than hot lap down the straight, and therefore you gain more time. Here he is. Keith's coming towards the middle sector. It's 2/10, but does he have the battery left in his disposal to use as he once again applies the overtake button? If this was 23, he'll be out of battery by now, but obviously it's a different game. You can see him there harvesting a bit of energy. Headed his turn 14 we go on that short straight. At the end of the turn 14, let's see where Keith can put his McLaren. He crossed the line right now. Is this going to be pole? Yes, it is. It's a 28.3.
Oh, this is getting really interesting. Very, very interesting. He only beats Matt G by 36 hundredths of a second. Oh, 36 thousandths of a second over Matt G. Incredible. Incredible scenes at the moment. This is going to be such a close qualifying, and I think we're in very close seasons at the moment. Adams is starting to land up in the other McLaren, and so has Mindful Wasp, who's further out on track.
So 2 minutes left to go in qualifying. We're coming towards the closing stages now as everybody else is in the pit lane. A few on their out laps as we've got on board with the McLaren driver Adams down in P13. Let's see what he does in the first sector. A few hundreds up in that first sector, trying to beat his own teammate's time and his own time, of course. We go down towards turn number 8 for Adams there. It's this right-hander, slow right-hander we go, using second gear, upshifted to third, using a bit of battery on the exit 2 for good measure as we go down through the turns of turn 9 and turn 10. Was a really difficult corner, a bit of hesitation there and a bit of correction out of the final corner, out of turn number 9, sorry, as we all together we stamp on the throttle. A bit more overtake on this straight as we go down towards turn 11 we go with the yellow lights flashing on the right hand side there as we go out turn number 11. Looks like there was somebody off the track with the Aston Martin. I think he was on a cool down lap or a push lap, not quite sure, but he's currently 9,000 down that middle sector, Adams, so unfortunately he will not improve. And Matt G has retired in the pit lane, I believe that is, so he will not continue his qualifying session. He's satisfied with P2, but he can get pushed down with the likes of Martin Cassidy, Sonic Hawk and Calvin Mason, the 2 RBs and the 2 Kick Saubers waiting to pounce on him. Here comes Adams now, goes up into P12, so he did find a bit of time in that last sector there, did the McLaren driver, but unfortunately for him it's not enough to put himself further up the field.
So Martin is starting with that now in the RB. We've got cars coming out now. Serge is on the flying lap as well. We just got a car through across the line. That's MCFC up into P5. Good lap from the Haas driver. Here comes Martin. Now let's see how he does through the second sector. First sector is a 10th quicker. It's a good start there for Martin.
It is indeed. Can Martin continue this as well? Because that 110 will put him on pole, but obviously he must have had a bit more time in the middle and the last sector to ensure his pole position and try to cement P1. But he's got to keep it nice and clean. I think he went a bit wide out of turn 9 there. Might have lost himself a bit of time, but he might pick up a decent tow off the Red Bull and the McLaren, who are currently on their flying laps. I believe that McLaren ahead of us could be Keith's. I think it is. Let's see. Let me go to the road.
Keith's.
Yeah, it is Keith, sorry. So here is Keith, 110 up in that middle centre. What's Martin going to do as he makes his way towards the second intermediate? He's
He's
lost a bit of
slower.
time. He's lost a bit of time towards his middle centre, has Martin. So here is Keith then in the McLaren. The Red Bull has decided to back out his lap time. But here comes the McLaren driver now, the championship defender from last season, is about to make his way towards the line. And can he improve his lap time? We're about to find out now. Yes, he can! What a lap time of 28.0. That's 3 tenths quicker. Martin goes into P2. He did find a bit of time in that last sector there, Martin, but it's not enough to dethrone Keith for pole position. Can anybody else dethrone him? Sonic Hawk has lost a dead plate. He will not go for pole position. Calvin Racing is making his way out. Turn 11 now, heading through turn 12. Let's see his middle sector. What can he do in that middle sector in the Sauber as he makes his way towards the split? It's 3 tenths. But is this 3 tenths going to be enough? He needs to find a bit more time. It could be on course for a P2. It depends how much time he can find in the final few corners. He's got a lot of EOS in his disposal to use, so he might want to think about using the
Blast
battery.
all of that ERS. He's got to blast all of it now down the straights.
He has indeed. Deployment is used already. Here comes Calvin across the line. What's he going to be for him? It's P2!
Oh!
Wow, what a qualifying session that was. It's Calvin in P2, RB and Kick Sauber are looking really good so far, but Keith is the man on pole. What a great lap time with a 28.0 and proving to be why he's the champion from last season. Put a statement on already with a 28.0, and I believe he's done 3 laps for that set of tyre. Yes, he has. Wow.
Wow. Keith is really managing this game beautifully at the start. What a performance from Keith. The defending reigning world champion is sending a message to that grid saying, if you want my title, you've got to come and get it the very hard way. So I'm not letting go this easily. What a lap that is from Keith. I'm really happy for him at the start of this at the start of the season. Well done to him. He'll be very happy with that.
Indeed as well. So Melissa Harrison is very happy with Keith's lap time in P1.
There you go. There she is. There she is. Keith's #1 fan.
I take it she's in a relationship with him?
I'm not too sure.
I don't know. I don't want to assume anything, but there it is then. There's the McLaren driver on pole, separated by 600 ahead of Calvin Racing in P2, Martin in the RB in P3 ahead of Mad G, who predicted to be in Div 1, but currently sat in P4. Cassidy in the Kick Sauber in a P5, MCFC in the Haas in P6, and the 3 Indy drivers, Sonic Hawk, Strabasa, and Surge in P9, P7, and P8 there. Eddie Jadan rounds off the top 10, and Melissa says, I'm the wife.
There you go then. Why not? The wife supporting the husband. Well, fair play. Right, Jamie, it's our first ever race as a pairing in Division 2. If we get what we can get in qualifying, I'll tell you now, we're probably gonna have no voices left after this, because I'll tell you now, this is gonna be an absolute thrilling race.
It is indeed. And you know what? The 3 laps on Keith's tyres, I want to know how he did that as well, because if you go for a cooldown lap, you're able to regenerate that battery really quickly because you can slap it into none and it recharges on the whole lap as well. So that's how people are able to do more than 1 lap on a set of soft compound tyres, because let's say if it was last season, tracks like Brazil, Netherlands, maybe other tracks like Austria too, where if you want to go for another lap on the same set of soft compound tyres, it's really hard to recharge that battery, and sometimes you might start at 80% or 70% of EOS. But in this game, you can recharge the battery really quickly by slapping it into none, and also you can recharge it whilst you're on your lap as well. Let's say if you put it into medium, which you don't want to do, but we did see a bit of recharging going on the straight when people into hot lap as well. So EOS management is a bit easier than last game, and if you're low on EOS in this game, you can put it into none in the slow speed corners like turn 8 for example, coming out of turn 8 going into turn 9 and turn 10, and try and resave that battery too. So EOS is going to be tactical around here, and in every single race this season it's going to be very interesting to see how these drivers use it in what parts of the track.
Yeah, definitely. CJB Historic Racing, that's Calvin saying, here we go again. And Steve saying, the one who must be obeyed. Probably say that to Melissa, probably, I don't know. But Paul Vickers, of course, is the father of Maggi. Say, nice one, son, but through his qualifying. So that, yeah, they actually are, which is quite interesting, to be fair. So that it's going to be really, really fun to see how it all plays out. Just waiting for Keith now to launch. Now everyone's picking their strategies. Everyone will be ready. Oh my goodness, it's so exciting. I don't know who the top three is going to be, but I do know one thing: Keith is going to be up there, no doubt for sure. Wants to defend that championship for sure.
Well, I can't wait to see what happens down into turn number one. A heavy breaker
Oh,
zone.
so do I.
It's a long drag down there into turn one, like it was at the Spanish Grand Prix, but obviously it's a lot more wider than the Spanish Grand Prix because I think Max Verstappen got pushed onto the grass, didn't he, by Lando Norris. And also, we haven't said a single word about Formula One so far, so while we've got a bit of a null going on so far, waiting for the players to apply the setups and the tire strategy, waiting for the green light as well to be called after the 5 minute wait. We'll talk about F1, why not? We're on the F1 game after all, so might as well do it. It is relevant to the subject, of course, but I think it was a fantastic, well, I say fantastic, it was a bit boring in the middle of the race in Austria, but towards the end on lap 62 or whatever it was, it got absolutely thrilling because I saw the result. I got it spoiled to me because I just got back home from work that day, and also I tried to avoid all the spoilers as much as I can. Then an Instagram
Yeah.
DM popped up saying George Russell won the Austrian Grand Prix, so I was like, oh, why? I should have avoided spoilers better. So I watched it and I was thinking to myself, how on earth is Russell going to win this Grand Prix? He's about 15, 16 seconds back. And I was thinking to myself, Verstappen must have a problem or something. Did he retire? Or what about Norris too? So when it got to lap 64, when they collided, I was like, oh, my heart was going. And yeah, it was a fantastic race between Verstappen and Norris, but unfortunately, contact was made between the two, and it's the first proper contact we've seen between Verstappen and Norris as well. And if you heard the team principal's thoughts of Andrea Estella, former Ferrari engineer for Fernando Alonso, he said that the rules must be respected like 2021. He said something about how this wasn't addressed properly like it was in 2021 when Verstappen and Hamilton came together back in 2021. And it happened again, unfortunately, in Austria. But it really spiced things up this season, doesn't it? Because we thought it could be a Red Bull domination, didn't we?
It really isn't. And McLaren, I'll tell you now, I can't believe we were saying this. McLaren, after all the troubles they had since 2013, the long grind that they had through the Honda era, and then after that was the Renault era, then the Mercedes, then they transferred over to Mercedes, and after all the hard grind from being a back team to a midfield team for such a long time, McLaren, for the first time since 2012, since the Hamilton era, are now genuine threats to Red Bull. It gives me such exciting vibes going into the British Grand Prix because Lando Norris, I'll tell you now, you think there's going to be a sea of orange going to be during the British Grand Prix. I'll tell you now, there'll be a sea of papaya fans raising for Lando Norris. It's going to be such an atmosphere going into Silverstone this weekend. I cannot wait how that plans out.
Orange for Norris this time, not Verstappen like he was in Austria, and also a bit of green as well with the Hamilton caps and Russell fans as well. So Austria's going to be electric, but I think Norris will have a 5 players grid penalty. Do you know why, Oliver? Because he did not serve that 5 second time penalty he had for trial limits. So if that's the case when you retire, you have to serve a penalty, don't you, for the next race?
If that's the case, then it's still bad luck, but he'll have that fire in his stomach for sure. Simo says Mansell for the win. Of course, that is Libby Simmons, Mansell's fiance. Say Mansell for the win, and Doran says Mon Keith's lad. To say that, I don't know what that must mean, but fair enough. Here we go. We're all lining up, Jamie. This is it. The first race out of 24 is starting here, right now in Bahrain. What's going to happen going into the first corner?
We've been racing around Austria since 2004, 20 years around the Bahrain International Circuit, and it's provided some fantastic races. The duel in the desert in 2024.
Look at Calvin's car angling there towards Keith's.
It is. I meant to say 2014, sorry, with Rosberg and Hamilton, but here are the 3, 4, 5 lines. Calvin's car pointed towards Keith's. He's on the medium compound tyres. SC gets a drive-through penalty immediately. We are underway. The McLaren gets a decent start. You can see Calvin wheel spinning. He's side by side now with the RB as the Haas goes into the lead with that drive-through penalty. But here we are on the inside goes Matt G on Keith. He's lost the lead of the race. Has the McLaren driver Calvin's up into P4. He was fighting with Martin. Side by side out of turn 3 we go now with Martin and Calvin going side by side. Let's see what happens going down into turn 4. And we can see Martin has the outside line, goes a bit deep. Will Calvin get the cut back on him, get a better drive than the RB, which he does do, and he remains in P4 as Martin. He's in an Alfa Romeo, or kick Sauber sandwich, sorry, is Martin in P5. But the Haas will have a drive-through penalty, and therefore in 3 laps time we'll have to serve it and go in the pit lanes. It looks like a clean start so far with midfield scraps. Oh, there's a spinner. Dan spun. He got on the power a bit too early and unfortunately has lost all that places he's gained up, and down into last place he goes.
We've got another fight as well, Serge, on the inside of Mansell for P13. Mansell get the drive though, going out to turn 10. But this is Mansell getting it back in position, and he will into P13 as Mindful Wasp goes up into P10, overtaking Ginger Tiger. Already positions are getting swapped around a lot, but as you can see, Maggi is the next race leader because MCFC has got to come to the pits for his drive-through. You can do it within 3 laps.
You can indeed, and also let's not forget to mention that Keith is on a set of hard compound tyres. Go for that long stint is Keith. I think he's going to serve his driver penalty right now is MFC, so he gets out of the way immediately as Mad G continues to lead the Grand Prix with Keith in P2. But Calvin is under pressure. Here he is, they're going down into turn 1. Martin might fancy a chance up around the outside, but Calvin then pitched on the curb, has to take the curb on the inside, and therefore not able to overtake Keith.
The 2 Scotsmen that are having a fight now, Cassidy and Martin. They always have football banter, but this is them fighting away. The 2 Scotsmen, the 2 Scottish, fiery Celtics they are. Now, if I'm trying to remember correctly, Cassidy is a Rangers fan, so he's in a green car, which is a Celtic car, and Martin's in a blue RB car, which is a Rangers car, but he's a Celtic fan, so it's a little bit awkward, but we go.
Mindful Wasp of making another overtake. That's into turn 8, so he's capitalising on them soft compound tyres. He started down in last place and now he's up into P8, so what a drive from Mindful Wasp on them soft compound tyres, but how long can that last for? The softs don't really last. He's got to, hasn't
he? Yeah, he's got to. We got that Serge. He's round in the Williams, so Serge has gone for a spin. MCFC will be licking his chops to catch down a little bit. Here comes the reigning world champion, and now don't forget, in this year's game, following the rules of this season, DRS is now enabled for lap 2 onwards, so Keys will get DRS.
I forgot about that, but here comes Mindful Wasp in the final corner. Wow, another place made. 10 places made within 2 laps. What a great drive so far from Mindful Wasp. What happened in qualifying? Well, he made it up in the race, but he's on the soft compound tyres, of course. We've got a change in the lead. That's Keith up into P1 on the inside, and Maggi making contact with his left rear tyre, but still makes it out unscathed. He's down into P2 now, but this is good for Keith. Good news for Keith on them hard compound tyres, able to stick with the pace of the people on the medium compound tyres around him. Is Maggi going to fight back? Here comes the Sauber, and here comes the RB side by side now. That's Martin versus Calvin for P3. Martin is trying to make a place back, but he stays in P4 for the time being. They're not able to make a move. I think that was Cassidy behind who was fighting, not Calvin.
Yeah, that was Cassidy all over the back of Martin, but Martin held on very strong. And I'll tell you what, Keith's is showing fantastic race pace at the moment on those hard compound tyres, really utilising them to his advantage. He's going to try and make that one spot work. So one mistake that, as you can see, that's Mindful Wasp all over the back of Stravazza. Getting Maggi go down the inside of Keith's McLaren, and Keith was a little bit wide there. Maggi was good looking to come back behind. He's gone to put his down behind, but Keith gets an awkward line going through the long right-hander of turn 13, and now he's going to go a good exit. But look at Maggi harassing that McLaren as it goes down onto the main street. This will be another swap for the lead. But what about the Sauber and the RB? What they're going to do behind?
They're all bunched up together are the guys at the front of the field. And Calvin Racing looking behind Mad G, but Mad G has the DRS, and here he is there, pulls to the right side. The Aston Martin in the background, that's Mindful Wasp, overtaking Stravazza. Here comes the Sauber down the inside too. There's a bit of contact between the McLaren and the Alpine as they're all bunched up together, and it's still making contact going into turn 1. Keith cuts the corner, and therefore Calvin moves up into P2. And here comes Martin now on the McLaren 2. Keith is about to lose 2 places there. Here comes the Sauber again. He's boxed in, nowhere to go, has to stay there. Look at this camera shot we have on the inside, but you can see the McLaren gets a better drive around the outside of turn 4, so he's able to stay in P4. But what a battle going on there between the top guys, separated just a bit from the fight. But Mindful Wasp, he's going to go down the inside of the kick Sauber. Yes, he is. Makes contact too, but what a pace advantage on the soft compound tyres. Making up places left, right, and centre. He's not stuck in that DRS train like I thought he'd be, Mindful Wasp. He went from
and look at the ERS he's saving as well. Have you seen his steering wheel? The ERS he's saving is magnificent from Mindful Wasp.
Don't know how he's doing it. He must have great race pace. Maybe messed up in qualifying all 3 of his runs. He must have good pace in general, but we weren't able to see it in qualifying. And here in the race, from P19 to P5, within 4 laps, yes, it's on a soft compound tyre, but overtaking can be quite difficult. And now he's putting pressure on the RB and Martin, so he's almost at the back of the top 3, almost decided. But how long will those soft compound tyres last for? That is the question for Martin in P5, or Mindful in P5.
So Mindful, is he going to be mindful? Because now he's on the back of Martin. Here we go, DRS again, down the main straight. We had the Constantino effect in turn 1, and keeps losing 2 places because of that. But now, I think all going to calm down, or we're going to go for more overtake. We've got Ginger Tiger on the back of Sonic Core. We've got Martin, that's Mindful Wasp on the inside of Martin. Onto turn 1, can he get the position done? No, he's going to stay behind him. And now we go down into his turn 4. Calvin is going to stay behind Mad G for the moment, as we gave him a little bit of warning. And he's, look at that, Calvin, close. No, Mad G holds on. He's got to wait for another lap. But this is so clinical for Mindful Wasp. Use those soft side spins of Martin. He's going to go dive down the inside of Martin. No, too far back.
A colourful battle in the top 3, the blue Alpine, the green Sauber and the orange McLaren. Here comes Mindful Wasp now, side by side with Martin to go down into turn 10. He's going to be late to the brakes, and Martin has that inside line, very important there as he gets a decent run and able to stay in front of, I think it's Mindful Wasp, but yes it is. But you lose him time, of course, he's 9/10 behind Keith, so Martin might be under pressure now from the Aston Martin behind. He's not able to defend. That's quite a tongue twist to say, Martin from the Aston Martin behind.
It sounds like a tongue twister, but I'll tell you what, F1 24's racing, I'll tell you now, business providing such phenomenal racing. We've got all gaps going from P1 to P13, all under 1 second. Everyone's getting DRS at the moment in his massive DRS train. And here we go, Calvin looks like he's seizing up a move on Mad G for the lead.
Here comes Calvin once again then on Mad G, both on their medium compound tyres of course, as Calvin then swaps into P1 he goes. Mad G's the motor down into P2. What will Keith do? I think Keith's in a really comfortable position in P3 because he's sat in that DRS train, he's on the hard compound tyre, as you can see Mindful Wasp really clattering the corners there as he gets a good run out of turn 1 into turn 3, and here he is then. Look at this, the Alfa Romeo Sauber versus the Alpine. We go down into turn 4 we go. Here comes Mad G on the inside. Very late move indeed, as able to, and Martin defends from Mindful Wasp, but not at the time being. Yes, he does now as he claims the racing line, and Mindful Wasp is not able to overtake Martin. So what a great defense from Martin.
Mansell Cluster are fighting side by side, going through the S section, and Mansell gets a place over Cluster, and he goes over to P10. This is fantastic racing for the first 6 laps. This is like non-stop action.
Oh, contact between the Red Bull and the Aston Martin.
Cluster, oh no!
Cluster tries to go down the inside, but ended up tagging Mansell unfortunately down into P14. So, yeah, that's I think that's on Cluster's side. Not really an opportunity to overtake. But in the background, Mansell spins again, and Alas Copo is fighting with the McLaren driver and his teammate too. I'm not quite sure if Cluster's got a bit of damage there. But look at Mad G harassing the back of that Sauber and putting all sorts of pressure. They're not about to go side by side all day. You can see the Red Bull in the background going wheel to wheel.
We don't want this.
But here we go, it's the final corner. Calvin in P1, he's going to be exposed on the straight because he's got a lot of people behind him with the DRS. There's Keith on them hard compound tyres doing a really good job, and Mad G pulls to the left hand side to overtake. What about Keith behind? What's he going to do? What's he trying to do into turn 1? I think the kick Sauber, it's under pressure from the crowd. He goes around the outside, there's a bit of contact, and Calvin's pitched on the curve there, not able to go anywhere whatsoever, and Keith forces his way up into P2.
Oh man, this is what it's going to be like for the rest of the season. We've got 6 cars fighting for the lead. I'll tell you what, sign me up here in Division 2 in the comms booth, and look at that. Oh, there's Martin trying to get Calvin on the inside. But you actually made me laugh here, Jamie, because the thing is, the lap before you called a Sauber and Alfa Romeo. You used to anymore, but look at that Martin down the inside. Oh, Michael was forcing Martin off the track, and he promoted up to P4.
Yeah, I didn't mean to say that. It was the heat of the moment, the adrenaline calling the Alfa Romeo Sauber. I knew I said it wrong as soon as I said it. But yeah, you were right about the top 6 battle. It's very intense. Mindful Wasp forces his way past Martin and bars him off the track. He's down to P5 as Martin, but I don't think he'll care a lot, knowing that the car ahead of him is on the soft compound tyres, of course. So he's likely to lose that position. But Mindful Wasp, 7 laps into this race, doing well on them soft compound tyres. Is he able to make up any more places? Are them soft compound tyres starting to come to the end of their best performance? But however, I think Keith's a really good advantage, because he knows once he makes that pit stop, he'll be on a brand new set of mediums, able to go towards the end. And also Mansell spun out of turn number 11, I believe that is. But here comes Keith now on the back of the Alpine, and they talked about going to Mercedes engine, and here comes Mercedes engine of McLaren, blasting past the Alpine Renault, of course, and puts himself up into P1, then back to where he was initially. But he had to fight his way through to get back into there. However, his teammate is ahead of Krusler, a multi-car battle between 2 Red Bulls and a McLaren. We don't like it when 2 McLaren and Red Bull get close together, proven to be in Austria. And Mindful Wasp then is thinking about overtaking Calvin Racing, but he's not able to do so. Sonic Hawk up to P8 ahead of his fellow Indian compatriot of Stravatza. They're battling over for P8. And Mindful Wasp, he's close enough to go down the inside. Yes, he will. A late lunge up the inside. Makes contact. It was a very late lunge indeed. And now he's side by side at the corner with Calvin there as we go down into turn 9 and turn 10. Which one of these two will get ahead of each other? Look at the Aston Martin there, the brakes there. Around the outside. More contacts made. Oh, more contact.
No!
And the Sauber is in a spin, unfortunately. So, ending in tears between those two. And Calvin comes off worst.
Oh man, I'm saying now, Mindful Wasp, he's very aggressive on those soft tyres. That might be a little bit of a recommendation to stewards, but then never Martin overtakes Mindful Wasp. And now we've got Cassidy on the back of Mindful Wasp. He's not being very mindful, isn't he? He doesn't care. And Klusser gets a 10-second penalty for ignoring the yellow flag, so after Calvin spun.
Mindful Wasp was struggling a bit going into turn number 11. He did go out wide, and Martin is back into P3. But here comes the multi-car battle between the Kick Aston Martin and the Sauber and the RB2 as we go down the straight. Both have a DRS behind the RB, but as we go down into turn 1, Mindful Wasp is in the middle of the battle, has to back out. He's almost made contact with the Sauber too, and Cassidy's up to P4 ahead of the Aston Martin. Now Cassidy putting pressure on Monster ahead. He gets a bit of a wobble coming out of turn number 1, and in which alarm. And here comes Matt G for the lead of the race into turn 4. He doesn't go for it, he stays behind of the McLaren driver. I think at this race Wasp will be getting a penalty. I didn't have to read all of that, I knew what he was going to say anyway. But here comes Sonic Hawk as well, who's also joined this battle, and he's dropped his Indian compatriot too, Stravatza, who's fallen down as P8.
I mean, your first race here in Division 2, Jamie, I don't know how you're finding this, but this is absolutely spectacular for an opening round here in Division 2. This is so action-packed at the moment. This is only your first race here in this division.
I love what Paul said as well. Yes, it is. It is, Oliver, but I love what Paul said as well. I think after this race, Wasp will get stung with penalties, and which he is as well. But after all that battling, it's left the top 2 to be by themselves. We did have a 6-way fight for P1, but now we've got the top 2 left by themselves. And Keith is on the hard compound tyre, of course. He's going to switch on to the mediums once he makes his pit stop, and we're very quick towards the end. So he's in the best position possible in a P1 on them hard compound tyres.
Oh, my poor Wasp is having a look at Cassidy. I'll tell you now, Wasp is in a very aggressive mood in this race. But here we go once again between these three. Wasp actually dies in.
Yeah, the soft compound tyres then has came to an end. Might put on the mediums or the hards, depending how what he feels like. But here comes Cassidy up the inside. It's turn 1. There's the RB. The 2 RBs going wheel to wheel. Oh, make contact. That's 2 teammates making contact, and Martin is in a spin. Sonic Hawk lays the brakes there, and he's took his teammate out, who's fighting for P3. That's a shame, because I'm about to mention Both RBs did a fantastic job, but they both made contact. Again, unfortunately. Two teammates making contact.
My word, controversy in the RB team, and that promotes Aiden's up into the top 10 now, so he's up into P8, following the strategy of his teammate, who's on the back of Atlas Scopo at the moment in the Red Bull. So he's making good progress at the moment as Atlas Scopo goes a little bit wide. Cluster makes his move on Calvin, who goes up into P9, so that puts her up in position. But my word, 10 laps in. 10 laps, there's already been incidents, controversies, so much going on. And look at Ginger Tiger, he's in P4 at the moment. He's doing absolutely brilliantly at the moment. And he's made 11 places. He's had a fantastic start, avoiding all those incidents at the moment. And he's on the back of Cassidy for third.
Ginger Tiger under the radar. I think he made an appearance in Tier or Division 1 in about a race or two. I can't exactly remember, but I remember his name. He definitely made an appearance in Division 1. But Ginger Tiger under the radar in this race, up into P4, avoided all the contact.
Maggie's in, lap 11.
And all the media runners, the guys in the background, offers the pit lane. The McLaren picked up the slipstream. He didn't dive in the pit lane. But here is the Haas up into P2 then. Ginger Tiger takes P2 away from Casti. What Adams did there is what Fernando Alonso did on the back of Kamui Kobayashi as he headed off into the pit lane, as he tried to grab all the slipstream possible. And also Klussler and Calvin are racing there for P6 and P7. Klussler is side by side with the Kick Sauber, but the Kick Sauber having DRS. No, the Red Bull has DRS then as we go into turn number 4, and the Sauber stays ahead as well. As you can see, the multi-car battle going on still for P3, P4 and P5. Where has he rejoined then? Mad G. He's rejoined down in P9 behind his Alpine teammate then. So a bit of fresh air between himself and Energy Dan. And once Mad G catches Energy Dan, he should let him through nicely, considering they're both on different strategies and the pace of badges too.
Yeah, definitely. So Maggi got into a lovely bit of clean air. What's Keith's going to do? Keith is obviously going to extend his tie stint. Before he go any further, he goes Sonic Hawk on the inside of Cassidy for P3. Can he get the boot done? Cassidy had a bit of a wobble going out of the corner. Sonic Hawk up into P3. He's having a strong race. Now Ginger Tigers are next. Could be P2 for Sonic Hawk going towards the end of this lap.
Sonic Hawk making up a lot of places, really putting the pressure on, but unfortunately might have a bit of weight on his shoulders due to hitting his own teammate who's fallen down his P14. Actually, his teammate pitted then as the rest of them continue on their way towards lap 12 of this Grand Prix. And Sonic Hawk then puts himself up into P2 then. RB's up there, but unfortunately it's not both of them. They should be both up there, but Sonic Hawk made contact with his teammate a lap or two ago. Energy Dan has overtaken Calvin, who's in the pit lane then, so the medium runners are starting to come towards the end of their stint, putting on the hard compound tyres. And I'm wondering, the soft compound tyre runner of Mindful Wasp is on the hards then, so not soft to medium, it's soft to hard, to ensure his safety making it towards the end and not running out of tyres as well.
So Mindful Wasp overtakes Calvin in the pit, so he is now currently behind Mad G at the moment. He's going to try and put the pressure on as best he can. Mindful Wasp, I think, has actually gained the place, actually, because he was behind in that Martin Calvin scrap, and now, because of the incidents that they all had, Mindful Wasp has got a significant gap in front of all this, as Atlas Scopo and Stravato fighting. Stravato with the switchback move, going down the inside of Atlas Scopo and into 11th. So Williams 10th of 11th at the moment, doing not so badly at the moment.
Martin on the brand new set of medium compound tyres right behind too, looking to make back as many places as he can to try and get himself back inside the top 10 where he should be after that contact down his tail. A bit of a lock up there on the inside front, all the way down towards turn 10 and 11. There for Alas Copa, big lock up indeed on the left front tyre as he locks that tyre up as we go down into the final corner there between these two who are still on those medium compound tyres, Ginger Tiger and Casti. Are they about to box this lap to go on the bonus set of hards? One of them is, which is Ginger Tiger, and Casti then decides to stay out there to extend his stint on their medium compound tyres there. So we're still waiting for the top 5 to pit, but obviously P4, P1 and P2 are on the hard compound tyres, so expect the hard runners to stay out there just a bit longer to make sure they can go on the medium compound tyres to minimise the distance on that stint to get the best conditions towards the end. But the medium runners now, all of them are pitted except Cassidy in P3.
Here we go now. Martin and Atlas Scopo are fighting. That was Atlas Scopo fighting away with one of the weird scholars, Stravato, with Martin just getting through into P11. So that's Martin picking up 2 positions. Calvin's in this fight as well. He's behind Alex Scopper as well. McLaren are now 1 and 4 now, which is quite good to see from McLaren. Of course, Haley's starting a little bit lower down the field. But this is a good multi-car scrap all the way down to where Ginger Tiger is. Just came out of the pit in P10. So he's got a fresh set of boots now to go and attack Serge up ahead of him.
And also, when Keith comes into the pit lane to put on a set of medium compound tyres, he will rejoin behind Mad G. Mad G's had a lot of laps to try and get himself do the undercut on Keith. But the problem is, though, Mad G will have a Keith on the medium compound tyres coming at him towards the end of this race then. So he's got to make the use of those hard compound tyres.
Yeah, I'd rather say 22 seconds between Keith and Mad G. That will be a position change for Mad G.
Oh, the spinner! That Serge has gone for a spin at the exit of turn 10 or 11, I believe that is. And also, Cassidy, what's happened to him? There's another yellow flag. He's in the pit lane, so nothing wrong with Cassidy.
So nothing wrong with Cassidy there. That's all right then. So right now we've got Energy Dan moving up into P5, extending his stint as usual, as Cassidy is in the pits and out again on a brand new set of hards.
And here is Ginger Tiger under pressure from Marty, who's looking to make amends after that spin in turn 1 by his teammate. Here he is, back up into P8. Here comes the Sauber. He's been so close between the two Saubers. He takes the curb. He crashes into the side of Stravazza. And here comes Calvin, and the two Saubers go side by side. He's lost another place towards Alas Copo. But the thing is, though, he has a brand new tyres on him, 3 laps younger in comparison to the rivals around him, because he stayed out there later than the rest of them. So not bad. He's rejoined last in this DRS train, but he's on fresher tyres, of course. That should help him make his way to the field.
So at this moment in time, this is where Keys will be joining in all of this midfield scrap. I'll tell you now, this race is not going to be done yet, folks, because we've got such a long way to go. But so we've got Mindful Wasp in P7, Mad G in P6 in such good speed now at the moment. He's going absolutely fine. This is the main scrap at the moment from where Martin is, all the way down to where Cassidy in P13. This is the main scrap. We'll just wait for Keys to come in. He has not yet. He's going for another lap.
I'll tell you something though, Mad G is not really gaining out of Reynolds from Keith, because the gap is still over 22 seconds. So he's not really gaining them newer hard compound tyres he should do, but he's not gaining as much as I expected him to on Keith. So that might be a problem for him towards later on in this race, because he knows when Keith pits, he's going to be on a brand new set of medium compound tyres. Also got a spinner there in the background. Is that Serge again? It is Serge.
Yeah, Serge, yeah.
His hard compound tyres maybe overheated after 2 spins now, unfortunately for him. But fastest lap goes towards Mindful Wasp, so we've still got that in the back. But expect the fastest lap to be beaten later on once these guys are on lower fuel, of course. And Ginger Tiger still putting pressure on Martin ahead of him. Martin has gained a bit of time on Mindful Wasp. The gap was about 3.8. Now it's 2.9. So Martin is catching Mindful Wasp as well. After Mindful Wasp had great pace, as Mansell does get past Surge. After those two have spun early in this race too. And that's why they're down there in P16 and P17. But we're waiting for the top 5 to pit in this race before they go on the medium compound tyres.
So all kicking off, Serge has spun again. Unfortunate for him, he's not having a great start to his season. But this has been a frantic event so far. Lap 15 out of 29. When is Keith going to come in? He will be behind Mad G, possibly behind Mindful Wasp, but he does not want to be anywhere near this scrap where Martin, Ginger Tiger, Savatsa, Calvin, Atlas, Scope, and Cassidy are. Is Keith going to come in? No, he's staying out another lap. So he's really managing the tyres at the moment. He's doing a very good job. He's really extending. Maybe he wants to go onto the soft compound tyre.
That could be possible, you know. But we'll see if that is possible. He has got a brand new set of softs waiting for him if he chooses to go on that tyre, because we do know he went for long runs on the same set of soft compound tyres. So maybe, oh, look at that, the Cassidy has spun because he tapped the back of Atlas Copa, who carried way too much speed in the final corner. He was not going to wait there. Misjudged his speed going into the final corner, he's braking, and therefore has spun. But luckily he's got going once again. A bit optimistic there from Cassidy in P13. But he should catch these guys with the freshness of his tyres.
Yeah, definitely. He has got the pace underneath him as well, so he'll most likely get back to him. So right now, I'm surprised that Martin's not making any gains at the moment on Mindful Wasp at the moment. He's on the medium compound tyre, but he's just not making any gains on Mindful Wasp. So it's the hard compound tyre. more of a race car than the mediums are at this stage.
Oh, I'll tell you what though, Energy Dan is not letting his teammate go because his teammate Mad G has been stuck behind him for the whole first sector. So actually, in the first race of the season, getting compromised by his own teammate. But here he is then with the power of the DRS, and he has the inside line with fresher tyres. He should be able to make this work, and he's up into P5 then. So he might have lost a bit of time being stuck behind Energy Dan, which might allow Keith a bit more favour. But around about lap 17-18, we should see Keith in the pit lane on a brand new set of war tyres.
No, he's still going. He's still progressing, staying out.
Very interesting then. So, I think he's going to go for the soccer power tyre, towards the end. He's got to now.
It's screaming sauce. I'll tell you what. If you see Keeps at this stage, and you're going to see him on the set of sauce, you just watch out for him because he's going to be absolutely like a stabbed rat, going absolutely hell for leather on the position he's going to lose. But here comes Mad G on the back of Klusser for P4.
And Klusser is also on the old tyres there. He's defending on the inside, on the straight, but Mad G should have him easily with the DRS again. Up into P4 he goes then on the Red Bull. And let's see the gaps between himself and the leader is 20 points.
Here we go, Calvin and Stravatza on the outside. Can you get it done though, Jamie?
Here we are then with the Williams and the Sauber. Both going side by side, but Stravatza maintains P10 and holds Calvin off. However, though, Cassidy has not caught Alas Copa again, so he's lost time towards the Red Bull outside that DRS trade. So he has lost a bit of pace. Has he lost his end plate making contact with Alas Copa? I don't think he's lost his end plate, but might have a little bit of damage sustained to his Sauber.
He hasn't lost any end plate, so yeah, it must have sustained some minor damage. So, of course, Cassidy's still struggling at this point in the race. Needs to get back into his rhythm and see how he's going to crack on. Keeps in the pits. Leader is in.
What's this going to be? Is it mediums? Is it softs? We're about to find out in a few seconds' time.
No, it's mediums. Wow.
Maybe the soft power tyres aren't good enough. Remember, we did see Mindful Wasp do about 7 or 8 laps on them soft power tyres, so maybe not the best tyre to be on. However, we've got yellow flags in the first sector because Serge has beached his car. He's spun. He's not able to get going. He has to reset the track. He's going to get disqualified. He needs to reset the track. You're allowed to reset the track due to circumstances. This is one of the tyres. He's got to get going, otherwise he's going to get disqualified. He's reversing. He's accelerated. He's not going anywhere. He has to get going right now. He's been disqualified. Out of the race he goes.
Unlucky there for Serge. Unlucky.
He should have reset his track. You're allowed to do so under extenuating circumstances with one of those. But yeah, he's disqualified unfortunately, and that's him out of the race.
Look at this. Look at who Keith's behind. He's behind Energy Dan. This is going to help on Mad G here, Jamie.
We should have a massive pace advantage on their mediums, so we shouldn't get stuck behind the Alpine for too long. But Energy Dan defending like a lion for his teammate in the Alpine there. Fernando Alonso style and Esteban Ocon back in Hungary 2021, but there's not much the Alpine could do. He has the DRS at the back of the Red Bull, but Keith with his freshness, no, he doesn't get past him, he stays behind him.
This is going to put Mad G a lot here because he's trying to get past Energy Dan. Look at it to go around the outside. Can he get the move done? Oh, Keith, what an absolute brilliant move from the reigning world champion. Absolutely brilliant.
So the gap between Mad G and Keith is 3.5 seconds then, and we've got 11 laps in this race. Sonic Hawk is finally in the pit lane to get rid of his old hard compound tyres. That's a good still on them hard compound tyres, but here comes Keith on the back of the Red Bull. Cluster knows this is a losing fight. There's no point fighting with the McLaren because he's focused on the Alpine behind. Bearing in mind, those two have still not pitted yet during this race, and Keith is up to P3. Next target is Mad G.
I'll tell you what, Mad G is going to be sweating his buckets right now because I think, hang on, we've got fights going down the field because that's Ginger Tiger facing on Martin. Calvin is still stuck in this train. He's not making any progress here because Ginger Tiger on Martin around the outside done. Calvin on Stravatza, no, not making any progress. This midfield fight's getting really good to say the least.
It is. Some of those people in that midfield were inside the top 3, but due to contact going on, some of them unfortunately taken some pain, and follow down the order as well. That's why they're down there, especially the two Saubers as well, Casti and Calvin. Calvin made contact with somebody earlier on in this race, and he's down his P10. The Red Bull of Atlas Coppa there, moving from side to side, and Sonic Hawk is right behind. Sonic Hawk then has rejoined in this DRS train in 12th place. He's on a brand new set of the medium compound tyres. Watch him fly past this train. It should be a bit easier with those medium compound tyres. Travasa looking for a move, and here comes the RB up the inside, but not able to make the move. But the Red Bull might go deep into turn 11. We go, but the Red Bull's still there on the inside, and is not able to overtake on that occasion. Going down into turn 13, the Red Bull breaks later, so Sonic Hawk has to wait patiently, and Adams is in the pit lane there to go on a set of medium compound tyres. Surprised not the soft, because we've got 9 laps left to go. Keep us at the fast lap of the Grand Prix.
Yeah, Keith is absolutely flying. Already calling out to Mad G. Where is Aiden's going to be joining instead of this? Aiden's is on a set of softs, so he's going to be behind all of that train. It's going to be, which is currently fighting. Here comes Calvin on the inside of Stravatza. Can he get the move done? Down the inside, late on the brakes, and gets the move done, completed. Not actually, because here comes Stravatza. Stravatza's still sticking with Calvin. Oh, Calvin spun where Roman Grosjean had his big fireball moment, but didn't turn into a fireball in this race, so lucky to him. Sonic Hawk on the inside of Atlas Scopo gets the move done. Sonic Hawk coming to 7th.
The reason why Calvin spun is because he dipped a wheel in the gravel at turn 3, lit the rear tyres up and spun off into the runoff area, but luckily he's got no damage, but he's fallen all the way back now into P12 with energy down right behind on a brand new set. But look at the top 2 then, close together. I need to flick on board with this because my spectator base is not working. Here we are, the top 2 close together, but the problem is Mad G is on an old set of the hard compound tyres. Keith has got blistering pace, and this should be taking candy from a baby for Keith there on Mad G.
Or is it a hot knife through hot butter? It's one of the two.
And here comes Keith then side by side, but he'll wait for the DRS, of course, just putting Mad G under pressure.
Slight contact between the two.
And here we go then on the straight. The DRS will be enabled for Keith, and he'll take the lead of the race. The problem is, can Mad G stick within the DRS of Keith? Is Keith going to pull away the distance, or can Mad G remain in that DRS contention? We're about to find out, but Keith should theoretically pull away now on his medium compound tyre. Sonic Hawk side by side with the Williams. Further up, the RB and Martin overtaking Ginger Tiger, who puts himself up into P4. So 2 RBs making moves there on each other, and we've got the Sauber and the Red Bull going side by side now. Oh, bit of contact there between those two, but Casti makes up into P8.
And Aiden's on the set of soft tyres. He's going chasing up to his big scrap in front of him, so he's going to get his teeth into it. But my word, they are going to be like hammer and tongs going into the end of this race. Ginger Tiger, who has started around where the bottom of the field is going to get a fantastic P5 if he doesn't bottle it here. He's got to get past Martin here. He can get a fantastic P4. But look at Sonic Hawk at the moment. He's harassing the Haas at the moment. Oh no! Way too late on the brakes there, Ginger Tiger.
He was indeed, and made contact with the back of the RB, and he gets past the RB, or stays ahead of him. He's into P5 now ahead. He's in an RB sandwiches Martin and a Sonic Hawk, so he should have his car ready, but he might get declined after the RB of Sonic Hawk overtaking him. We've got Stravatza all over the back of this battle too, on an old set of the hard compound tyres. This is great scrap going on for P4. Fortunately, it doesn't involve Calvin in P11, but Adams, let's not forget to mention him, from hards to softs. Here we are with the Sauber and the Williams going side by side. In the final corner we go. Neither of them waiting around. Casti overtakes Travasa, who puts himself up into P7. And as you can see, the RB in the pit lane. Wow, why is Martin in the pit lane? Does he believe those medium compound tyres will not make it towards the end of the Grand Prix? So that's him out of the equation now. And on the soft compound tyres he goes for sure.
Aiden's on down the inside, going on Atlas Scopa. Vatsin making the position. Next up for Mr. Ratsa.
So Stravatza then, here he is, under pressure from Adams on the soft compound tyres, so he should be very quick at this stage. The Hassan and the RB in the background going side by side, or the Sauber. Look at Stravatza though, look at Adams, gets a really good exit, and he overtakes the Williams driver too, and he puts himself up into P8, but they're still side by side. But this battle should end now, because Adams has the racing line and stays ahead of the Williams then. Great racing indeed between those guys. Stravatza tried to re-overtake Casti, but Adams had the better exit and boxed him in, and therefore went alongside him and overtook him too.
I'll tell you now, if Adams wants to get a good result here for McLaren, definitely doing a good job of that because right now he's targeting that P4 and there'll be a 1-4 for McLaren and the Constructors' Championship lead because Sonic Court now down the inside of Ginger Tiger and gets the position done out of the way.
He does indeed, and he puts himself into P4. Now the gap between himself and Mindful Wasp is 5.9 seconds. But the problem is, Sonic Hawk is in his big DRS trade. Could those behind him affect his pace by overtaking him a lot with the DRS? And here we are, they're on straight once again. Here comes the Haas of Ginger Tiger, looking to make another overtake on the RB, but he waits for the DRS. But here comes Cassidy around the outside. We see him moves in different places. I went to the spectators menu by accident or the home screen, but here we are, 4 abreast on the straight. The Haas goes through, the McLaren goes through, Adams is up into P4, that's a triple overtake from him, and here we go, down into turn 1 we go. We can see the Haas and the McLaren side by side. Sonic Hawk has lost 3 places.
Adams with a 3-car overtake, he's now into P4, 6.5 off third. Can Adams, with those soft compound tyres, who's only done 3 laps for him, catch Michael Ross?
Oh, contact!
Oh my word.
Contact between the RB and the Haas, and therefore the Sauber is back ahead. Cassidy's up into P5. This is great race between those guys. Sonic Hawk, who got swollen by the pack, he's down into P9 now with Sonic Hawk. He went from P4 to P9 in the first sector alone.
So, 5.8 is the gap between Adams and Mindful Wasp. Can Adams get a P3 from McLaren? That'll be a fantastic result for them, but it's a big ask. But he can try and do it.
Mindful Wasp, Adams, they both were the back of the field. Mindful Wasp started in last place. Adams started down in P12. Mindful Wasp used the soft compound tyres at the very start, making his way through. And Adams is now on them soft compound tyres, hunting down the hard runner on Mindful Wasp. 5 laps left to go. The gap is 5 seconds. Adams has got himself out of that DRS train and out of that battle, which is very crucial. And can he catch him down? Can he hunt him down with 5 laps left to go? About to find out. The battle of P3 is on. They both deserve a podium, by the way. They did a great job.
Oh, indeed so. But here we go. This DRS train is not done yet. Good take comes Atlas Scopo trying to get past the Williams. Not going to happen. Calvin on the back of MCFC. This is for P10. Can Calvin get past him? Very easily and gets on. But no. MCFC down the inside of Calvin. Can he get the position done? No, Calvin gets the drive. Gets away. P10 it is.
When I went to board on that train, I noticed in the background that these two in turn 1 were fighting. They're close together at MCFC. Remember, he had a drive-through penalty at the start of the Grand Prix, hence why he's so far behind. And Klussler versus Energy Down we go, into turn 4 we go. One's on the softs and the other is on the medium compound tyres. They both pitted at the same time, these two. But look at Adams, who's gained about 8 or 9 tenths on this lap alone. So he's hunted down Mindful Wasp. Can he do it though? He's going to be very close towards the end of the Grand Prix.
If we had like an AWS projector and we say there's the striking distance and how many laps, it's going to be very, very close. 3.7. Adams is on the charge, but is he going to have the tyres left to go catch Mindful Wasp? It's going to be very, very close.
So the gap was 5.1 on the last lap in this particular part of the track where I looked. Now it's 3.6. That's 1.4 seconds he's gained in 1 lap. If he continues to do this, he'll catch him before the last lap. However, Cassidy gets a bit of a wobble at the final corner. He's been wobbling a lot in this race, has Cassidy. He's got 8 tenths or 9 tenths ahead of Stravazza, who's under massive pressure from Atlas Copo. As we head down towards turn 1 in a 4-car battle with these guys fighting so hard. Sonic Hawk is at him, trying to go around the outside into turn 1, but he's not able to do it on Ginger Tiger. I think Sonic Hawk rode the curb on the outside, and hence why he went a bit deep, not able to make the overtake. You don't want to go on the curbs there at all because it'll run you off the track. Prove it to be. Energy Dan and Klussler are still fighting. There's a 3-way scrap going on for P12 with Martin involved. Martin gets smoked by the Alpine, and here comes the Red Bull around the outside, and the Red Bull goes off the track there, and Martin making contact too with the Alpine. They're all scrapping away. I don't know who to keep an eye out for. However, Adams is 2 seconds away from Mindful Wasp. That battle for P3 is coming.
Adams is smelling Aston Martin green blood. He is absolutely flying The orange papaya McLaren is juicing out everything, and he is so close. And look at that, Martin and Dan, they're still going at it, and they're still going side by side going into turn 10. Kloss is in there with him. Oh, there's battles all over the place. You can't even keep track of it all. But there we go, 1.8. Smart Aidens is so close from a brilliant P3. He is going to get it if he keeps having this pace.
We're going to be on course for a double McLaren podium at this rate if Mindful Wasp is not able to defend from Adams, but the battle for B12 is still heating up between those guys. The battle in that midfield pack inside the top 10 is still brewing between Casti, Stravatza, Atlas Copo, Ginger Tiger and Sonic Hawk, and their medium compound tyres. He went from P4 to P9 earlier on, so he's not able to make up the deficit on those medium compound tyres, you would have thought. And however, Energy Dan, I think he's spun. Casti gets a 3-second time penalty, unfortunately, but Energy Dan spun in the final corner and he's dropped. Casti now, Stravatza going side by side as we head down to turn 4. Stravatza is ahead of Casti in the Williams he goes, but the McLaren is catching up on Michael Wasp.
Adams 1.2 is nearly a DRS range if he gets up this pace. He's going to get DRS on the main straight. Who would have thought Adams was going to be pushing for a podium position from where he was in qualifying? It was absolutely unbelievable driving here from Adams. An unbelievable strategy as well.
I look at the pack. We're on board with Adams, but look at the pack in the background. There's all 5 of them fight their way out the corner at turn 9 and turn 10. But here he is. Adams is in the started in last place. He's had a scrap of his own here in the first stint. He barged Martin off the track in turn 8, and here he is. Then the battle for P3 is brewed between Mindful Wasp and Adams. Can he make it a double podium for McLaren for the first race of the season? He started down in P12, a difficult qualifier for him, but he's making amends in this race. And here we go. Then the overtake is on in the background. We can see Casti, Stravatza going at it as well. They had a bit of a bad exit, did those two. I think it's the final corner. Here they are. Casti is side by side with the Williams again. And here comes Atlas Copo trying to take advantage too. In the background comes Sonic Hawk on the Haas. Here we go down into turn 1. We go Atlas Copo banging wheels with the Williams driver. They come out side by side in turn 2 and turn 3. But Atlas Copo has the race in line and he stays ahead. But here comes Adams then, too far back to make a move on Mindful Wasp. There's still 3 laps left to go. The Haas, Williams and AlphaTauri going 3 abreast. Into turn 4 we go. But all the Williams are spun. Stravatza spun. Oh, that's a shame there for Stravatza. Had massive pressure behind him. Got the throttle way too early. I don't believe contact was made. He spun by himself, unfortunately.
No. I was on board. He just lit up the power, lit up the rear tyre, spanned the car. That's unfortunate there for Stravatza.
And now Calvin's overtook him. Also, MCFC is about to pass as well.
Oh, here comes Adams.
There's the battle for P3 between Adams and Mindful Wasp. Adams goes around the outside and he takes P3 away from Mindful Wasp. What a fantastic drive from both of them, it must be said. But Adams there, great strategy to get out of that midfield fight, get out of the DRS train on them soft compound tyres. Took the Haas for a really long stint.
That's a mistake though. That's a mistake because he now Mindful Wasp, he's got the DRS now on Adams. He's not going to get rid of this fight too easily. As we go on to the penultimate lap of this race, what a season opener this Grand Prix is going to be. What Silverstone's going to offer next week?
And also we've got Silverstone this week too for Formula 1 itself as we come towards the end of the triple header. But Mindful Wasp is not able to overtake Adams then, so that might be it for the battle for P3. However, Sonic Hawk is side by side with the main Red Bull team, and now the Red Bull's under pressure from the Haas of Ginger Tiger right behind too. Ginger Tiger gets a good decent exit, and now he's about to go side by side with the Red Bull, both having DRS. In the back of Casil Stee, Calvin fighting with Stravatza. Ginger Tiger goes down the inside of Atlas Copo and takes away P7. However, the battle for P9 is still brewing up between these 3. Martin and Energy Dan going side by side into turn 1. The 2 admins of this league battling out for P13. They both had troubles of their own in this race, especially Martin too, after he spun early on in this race, making contact by his teammate Sonic Hawk in P6. Those 2 will be having words at the end of this race too, because RB could have been on for a good result. There's still a good result for P6, but more points could have been delivered for both of them.
I'll tell you what, the team's going to get the biggest praise at this race is, of course, McLaren, because they'll get a 1 and 3 after any terrific drive, not to mention Mindful Wasp in the Aston Martin, from gaining, 30 positions in this Grand Prix alone, absolutely tremendous. But this Grand Prix alone has been tremendous. The action's been tremendous. The controversy's been tremendous. And we're on to the last lap in this Grand Prix.
And Keith could see a massive gap behind him. He could afford about 2 second time penalties. Well, 3 second time penalties, 2 of them. Can Keith? With the gap he has behind him. And he's starting the final lap now into turn 4, but there's still battles going on in the track there. Cassidy, the only driver in this race to pick up a 3 second time penalty, Sonic Hawk, gets so close behind the Sauber driver. Both Saubers have had trouble of their own in this race with making contact and spinning out too. And Cassidy there still in P5, but he might drop to P8 towards the end of this race with that 3 second time penalty hovering over his shoulders. But we've had no virtuals, we've had no safety cars, we've had a lot of battles on the track, that's for sure, with Martin and Energy Dan still going at it, going down into turn 1, the battle for P13. We've got Calvin Racing versus Travassa. Oh, the bit of contact there did the Haas and the Williams driver, but make it unscathed, and therefore Travassa still stays in P10. The battle for P5 is still brewing up between these guys here. Martin and Dan still swapping places there for P13, going side by side out of turn 4, and also Martin's had his own problems during the race too. He was up there inside the top 3.
Here comes Keith. What a way to start off your championship defence, my man. Here he goes around the last corner.
Here he comes then, the checkered flag will be out, and the man who starts the pole will come across the line to win the Bahrain Grand Prix for the season opener. What a drive there for Keith, unchallenged at the front. Here comes Matt G to finish in P2, and the man that started down in P12 made up a lot of positions on them soft compound tyres. Here he is then, comes home to finish in P3. And Michael Walsh started in last place to finish in P4. Then here comes the train with Cassidy, Sonic Hawk, Ginger Tiger, and Alas Copo to finish in P5, 6, 7, and 8. Cassidy falls down to 8th there. Both Saubers were inside the top 3 and top 4. Fights it out, but they fought too hard and then end up in the spin as well. And contact Calvin P9, Stravassa P10, and MCFC, the man who led the lead of the race, but had a driving penalty, finishes at P11. Krusler in P12 ahead of Martin, who had a dismal race after making contact with his teammate at turn 1. Energy down 14th, Mansell 15th, and Wade Seth. Unfortunately, we didn't mention much of him in this race, so apologies about that, but Wade Seth will finish in P16.
Wow, what a Grand Prix that was. Unbelievable Grand Prix. I'll tell you now, Jamie, this is your first race commentator in this division. I don't know what to say, really.
I couldn't catch my breath with all that bustling going out on the track.
You've got Division 1 tomorrow.
Well, more work for me then, isn't it?
But well done to Keith. What a way to start off your championship defence, my man. Absolutely brilliant.
Some argue that it should be in Div 1. But he'll prove himself to be a Div 1 shortly if he continues like this. The 30.4, the fastest lap pole, and the race win as well. What a way to start the first race of the season as well, with a banger. And McLaren scoring the maximum points with P1 and P3. Adams started P14 actually, not P12, so even better for him. Ginger Tiger started P15, finished in P6, so a good race for him. But more to come from Ginger Tiger after they've got more potential to show. And there was a lot of contact as well during this Grand Prix. A few people that should have been up there down to the field, like Cassidy, Calvin Racing, I dare say, Martin P13 too, he should have been up there as well. But that's how the race goes sometimes. It goes your way or it doesn't go your way, and not further down the field due to contacts. Maybe not because of your own fault, due to other people's fault. But that's racing for you. It doesn't always go your way. But we've still got 23 races left to go, so plenty of opportunities to get your way back up there.
Unbelievable. I invited Keith and Maggie. I'm just going to get aliens into this party, if you can.
Be nice to chat to them. Here comes Mad G, and we're just going to wait
for our reigning world champion. Whew, what a Grand Prix. Wow.
You know what? During my time at Div 1, I was never able to overtake... what was I going to say? I forgot what I was going to say now. It just went out my head. Oh yeah, I was never able to... what's the word? Interview, there we go. Interview. I had a bit of a brain dead moment there, but I was never able to interview Adams in Div 1. But here in the first race of the season, I'm able to interview him. And I get to talk to 6 people this season because I've commentated Div 2 and Div 1 for podium interviews.
So if Aiden does join the party, we'll see if he is. But for a season opener, that is what a brilliant start for a season opener. Absolutely brilliant. 10 out of 10 race. We're going to Silverstone next week with more going on, to say the least. So I'm just lost for words. What a Grand Prix that was. If anyone watches this stream back, please give us a like and please give us a subscribe. We're on our way to 700 subscribers. We're on the road to 700. Let's just keep this going. We got more races to come. 24 races. 24 weeks of action-packed Speed Force racing content will be coming our way. But absolutely brilliant. What a Grand Prix.
I don't want to keep Maggi waiting, so we're going to start with him. So yeah, Maggi, mate, welcome to the podium interview. You finished in P2, and talk us through your race, mate. How do you feel about that?
Well, for starters, it's been a while since I've been here. Well, to be honest, I just thought just try and finish. That's all I wanted to do. I had my strat in my mind, and I stuck to it. I was quite surprised at turn 1 when, apart from MSFC getting a jump start, I basically got P1 by turn 1. So, I was surprised with that. But other than that, I just did my own thing. Didn't try and battle anyone too stupidly, didn't try and make silly manoeuvres. Looked at the battery and tried to look after my tyres, but it's a bit difficult around here. But yeah, can't go wrong with that P2.
And you knew that Keith would be quicker than you towards the end on the medium compound tyres. Did you try and push as hard as you could when you put it for new hards? Try and keep at bay once you came on the medium compound tyres?
There was no point in trying to push it because I know what his speed is and how he drives. So there was no point. I mean, he called me by 6/10 in 3 corners. That says it all right there. So I had no reason to try and fight him and ruin my own race and ruin my own tyres.
Fair enough, mate, there. So that P2 was a solid race for you. You broke the DRS train, I think, from the rest of the field because there was a bit of contact between guys behind you. Once you saw that, did you think that's the opportunity to try and finish in P2 because you broke the DRS train?
I don't want to sound big-headed, but I don't look behind me. I looked in front of me.
Fair enough, mate.
I had no idea what was going on behind me, to be fair. I just looked in front and just did my own thing. Like I said, just try and get every apex right. Manage the DRS right. If we got on DRS, use the DRS. I just didn't try and do anything stupid.
And how do you feel?
Work.
And how do you feel for Silverstone?
I don't really know. I've not driven it for ages, so I don't know. It's been a few weeks since I've been around it.
Do you feel comfortable on this game, or you started to get grips with it?
It all depends what the setup's like. If I use something as a setup and it's got like outrageous front end and massive engine braking, it doesn't suit me. The front end sticks in too much, the back end flies out. So I've got to try and find a go-between for it to be right in the middle of it. That's where I'm comfortable. Yes, it could be slower than others, but it's comfortable for me. And again, it works out.
I've got that problem with the front end just poisoning a bit too much. I cut the corner I've never done that before on the olden games, but this game that's my weakest point. But Oliver, you got any questions for Matt G?
Yeah, with this podium, Gareth, I know it's too early in the season to ask this, but is the old Matt G coming back from the Renault days and coming back to, because you're in Alpine, aren't you?
I am in Alpine, yes.
So that's screaming of you back in the Renault days when you actually won the Constructors' Championship with a certain Senna. Is this the old magic coming back?
But don't forget, I also won a GP4 in a Mercedes.
That's very true. But
I'm still the reigning GP4 champion.
In the Constructors fight, yes, you are. But now we're in here, Division 2, with Mad G on the podium. Is this going to be a consistent Mad G season? If it is, could it be a strong season going into the next 23 weeks?
To be honest, it's not something I can really say yes or no, because obviously new patches could come out for the game where it actually changes the hand and it can destroy my race altogether, so I can't really speculate or even comment on that just yet.
So, speaking of which, you just nailed on the head. It's just been said in global chat, but it was a post by, if I can get this up, whoever posted this, hang on. 2 seconds. My phone's being a bit of a divvy. 2 seconds. Yes. Rogue Sniffy. He just put up a post saying that there's a patch coming into the curbs. The curbs and sausage curbs more obvious. I set of the car more when driven over, and it's also another thing when it comes to gameplay. 10-second time penalty served in 5 to 6 seconds, and handling adjustments to media traction control settings. There is a few patches coming in for the game. Saying that, Maggie, is that going to be a bit of a difference maker going into the next 23 races with that patch coming in?
All I say is find out when it comes out.
A man of very short words, so definitely Kimi Raikkonen spec driver.
I wouldn't say that far, mate. I don't drink. No, with the patch itself, yes, there is going to be certain things, but it's just saying no, there's going to be changes to medium traction, this and the other handling. No one knows the proper in-depth of what it's going to be like, hence why you just can't comment on it, because you don't know until it comes out.
But you must be happy with the pace today, Gareth. You got to be really happy with the pace today.
Oh, don't get me wrong, I'm surprised by it, to be fair. I mean,
someone in the comments called you Diff 1.
I'm nowhere near Div 1. All day long I'm not Div 1. If that's the case, look at last night. The top two were 26 seconds on the rest. But like I said, people have different strategies, people make mistakes, people spin. That's how you make gaps. You take advantage of people's mistakes.
Yeah. So well done for tonight, Gareth, and good luck for Silverstone next week. I'm looking forward to watching Division 2.
And good luck for Division 1 tomorrow night.
I won't be doing Division 1 tomorrow night. I got important stuff to do, but I will be back for Silverstone. So
okay, Silverstone then.
Yeah, my first race is Silverstone. So but you will be seeing my teammate Smoke racing in the Ferrari. So that'll be quite fun to watch.
Well,
I'm sure it will.
Thank you very much, Matt G, for joining us in the podium interviews. The other two are not coming, unfortunately, which we'll have a nice word with them, but it makes my life easier by not talking to anybody else. But Oliver, thank you so much for commentating with me, and good luck in Silverstone next week.
Yeah, and I'll speak to you again in Silverstone. I'll tell you now, if you did enjoy that, please watch Silverstone, because that was an absolute cracking race. Not to mention we got this race again tomorrow for Division 1. Where Harry Kane starts defending his championship tomorrow. Can you believe that, Jamie? We got Keith defending his championship today. We're off to a great start. Can Harry Kane do the same?
Indeed, it's going to be hard because you've got Hazara, who might be a full-time driver, and he was a massive threat as well. He's a massive threat in the races too. So Harry Kane's got a lot of work in his hands if he wants to beat his fellow Norwegian driver. But I'll join you all tomorrow for Div 1 with Mansell for the Bahrain Grand Prix. The first race of the season will start tomorrow in Div 1, but for Div 2 and Div 3, you'll see you all in Silverstone next Monday and Tuesday. Have good luck, have a good week, and enjoy the weekend of this British GP in Silverstone again. Stop book.